Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is not hesitation. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is control. But woman who is grounded does not rush to explain. She does not chase validation. She does not react emotionally to chaos because she knows something most people do not. Presence does not shout. Presence does not beg. Presence does not perform. Presence holds the room without moving. In this audiobook, you will learn why the calmest woman is always the most powerful, and why the moment you stop reacting, you start commanding respect. Listen closely. This is not about doing less. This is about becoming unmovable. Chapter 1. Stop confusing stillness with passivity. Stillness has been misunderstood, and because it is misunderstood, it has been avoided. Most people believe that if you are still, you are weak. If you are quiet, you are unsure. If you do not react, you are losing. That belief is wrong, and it has cost people their power. Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is not surrender. Stillness is not waiting for permission. Stillness is chosen restraint. Passive people freeze because they are afraid. Grounded women stay still because they are in control. There is a difference, and you must learn to feel it in your body. Passivity collapses inward. Stillness stands upright. Passivity avoids responsibility. Stillness delays response. And delayed response is not weakness. Delayed response is strategy. The world trains you to react quickly, answer fast, explain immediately, defend yourself now. Why? Because reactive people are easy to manage. They reveal everything. They leak emotion. They give up leverage. Stillness withholds information, and what is withheld cannot be used against you. This is the first truth you must accept. Power that does not rush is power that lasts. Watch any woman who commands respect, not attention, respect. She does not fidget. She does not rush her words. She does not fill silence to feel safe. She lets silence do the work. Silence makes people uncomfortable, and discomfort reveals hierarchy. The one who can sit calmly in silence is always above the one who needs to break it. This is not personality. This is regulation. Stillness is a regulated nervous system. Passivity is a collapsed one. A passive woman hopes things will work out. A grounded woman decides when she will move. Stillness is decision postponed until clarity arrives. Think about this carefully. Have you ever noticed that the most influential person in a room is rarely the one speaking the most? They listen, they observe, they wait, and when they finally speak, the room shifts. Why? Because their words are not noise. Their words are weighted. Stillness gives weight to language. When you speak less, each word matters more. When you react less, each movement becomes intentional. This is why grounded women are often misjudged at first. They are underestimated, and that is an advantage. Underestimation creates space. Space creates leverage. Stillness allows others to reveal themselves. While they talk, while they explain, while they justify, you watch. You collect data. You do not interrupt energy. You let it expose itself. This is not fear. This is intelligence. You must stop apologizing for your calm. You must stop explaining your pauses. You must stop thinking that stillness needs justification. It does not. Here is a hard truth. If someone pressures you to respond faster than you are ready, they are trying to control the outcome. Stillness breaks that control. A grounded woman does not say, "I don't know yet," nervously. She says it neutrally. She does not rush to clarity. She allows clarity to come to her. And because she waits, her decisions are cleaner. Her boundaries are firmer. Her presence is heavier. Stillness forces others to slow down, and those who cannot slow down expose their instability. This chapter is not asking you to disappear. It is asking you to anchor. Anchor your body. Anchor your breath. Anchor your reactions. Before you respond, pause. Before you explain, pause. Before you defend yourself, pause. That pause is not empty. That pause is you choosing yourself. Stillness is the moment where power gathers. And here is the behavioral shift you must practice. When emotion rises, do not speak immediately. When pressure appears, do not answer immediately. When provoked, do not react immediately. Count internally. Breathe slowly. Feel your feet on the ground. Let your nervous system settle before your mouth opens. This is how you separate instinct from intention. Reactive women speak from emotion. Grounded women speak from clarity. Stillness is clarity waiting to arrive. If you learn nothing else from this chapter, learn this. Stillness is not what happens when you have nothing to say. Stillness is what happens when you have too much power to waste it. You are not behind. You are not frozen. You are not unsure. You are deciding. And decision-making always belongs to the one who can wait. In the next chapter, we will go deeper into this truth. Because stillness is not something you do. It is something others feel. And once your presence is felt, your authority no longer needs explanation. Chapter 2. Presence is felt before it is heard. Presence enters the room before you speak. This is not poetic language. This is biological truth. People feel you before they understand you. They sense your regulation. They sense your stability. They sense whether you are grounded or seeking approval. Words come later. This is why presence cannot be faked. You can rehearse sentences, you can polish explanations, you can perfect your tone, but if your nervous system is unsettled, your presence will expose it. Stillness creates presence. Presence creates authority. Authority does not announce itself, it settles. When a grounded woman enters a space, nothing dramatic happens. There is no performance, no urgency, no tension, but something changes. The room slows. People look up. They recalibrate. They pay attention. Not because she demands it, but because her energy does not need permission. Presence is coherence. Your body, breath, posture, and gaze are saying the same thing. I am here. I am stable. I am not in a hurry. Most people broadcast internal chaos. They speak quickly. They over-smile. They fill silence. They lean forward too much. Their presence says, "Please like me. Please understand me. Please don't misunderstand me." Grounded women do the opposite. They occupy space without apology. They sit back. They breathe low. They move slowly. Their presence says, "I am not chasing connection. I am available, but not needy. I am here whether you approve or not." This is why presence is felt first.
Your body is always speaking, even when your mouth is closed, especially when your mouth is closed. Here is a hard truth you must accept. If people consistently interrupt you, talk over you, or dismiss you, it is rarely about your words. It is about your presence. Presence comes from internal permission, permission to exist without explanation, permission to pause without guilt, permission to hold eye contact without smiling to soften it. Most women were trained to reduce their presence, sit smaller, speak nicer, explain more, soften everything. But presence requires expansion, not loud expansion, grounded expansion. You take up space energetically by being settled in your body. Your shoulders relax, your jaw unclenches, your breath slows. You do not lean forward to be accepted. You let others lean toward you. This is why silence works. Silence forces others to meet your pace. Silence removes the illusion of control. When you stop filling space with words, others feel the weight of your presence, and weight commands respect. Stillness is what gives presence density. Without stillness, presence becomes scattered. Here is a practical reframe. Presence is not charisma. Presence is regulation made visible. A regulated woman feels safe to others, and humans naturally defer to what feels safe. Not chaotic safety, not emotional safety, grounded safety. This is why grounded women are often trusted with responsibility even before they speak. Their presence communicates, "I can handle pressure," and pressure tests presence. Watch how people behave under pressure. Most speed up, they talk more, they justify. Grounded women slow down, they reduce words, they reduce movement, they increase clarity. That contrast creates authority. Presence is contrast. In a loud world, stillness stands out. In a fast world, slowness leads. You do not need to announce confidence. Confidence that announces itself is insecurity wearing armor. True confidence is quiet because it does not need witnesses. Here is the behavioral instruction for this chapter. Before entering any space, a meeting, a conversation, a relationship moment, settle your body first. Slow your breath. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Feel your feet. Then enter. Do not rush energy ahead of your body. Let your body arrive first. When speaking, reduce speed by 20%. Allow pauses at the end of sentences. Do not rescue silence. Let others feel it. Silence is not empty. Silence is pressure, and pressure reveals truth. If someone fills silence nervously, they are telling you who they are. If someone meets your stillness calmly, they are telling you who they are. Presence allows discernment. You cannot read people if you are too busy performing. This is why grounded women see more. They are not distracted by managing perception. They are present, and presence makes you undeniable. You may notice resistance at first. People used to controlling conversations will feel unsettled by your calm. Let them. Your job is not to manage their comfort. Your job is to remain coherent. Stillness is coherence. Presence is the reward. In the next chapter, we will sharpen this even further, because once presence is established, the next leak of power is over-explaining, and grounded women do not dilute their authority by saying too much. They let presence carry the message.
Chapter 3. The most grounded women do not over-explain. Over-explaining is not kindness. It is not clarity. It is not generosity. Over-explaining is fear wearing manners. It is the fear of being misunderstood, the fear of being disliked, the fear of losing control of the narrative. Grounded women do not fear misunderstanding. They trust their clarity. They trust their decisions. They trust themselves. And because they trust themselves, they do not dilute their words. Over-explaining drains authority. Every extra sentence weakens the one before it. Confidence does not justify itself. Repeat that. Confidence does not justify itself. When you explain too much, you invite negotiation. You turn statements into debates, boundaries into suggestions, decisions into discussions. Grounded women do not negotiate their reality. They state it, and they allow others to respond. This is uncomfortable for people who rely on emotional leverage. Over-explaining gives others material to argue with, material to twist, material to exploit. Stillness removes that material. Here's the truth most people avoid. If your message is clear, it does not need reinforcement. If your boundary is firm, it does not need defending. If your decision is grounded, it does not need approval. Over-explaining comes from the belief that if you say it better, others will accept it. That belief is false. People do not accept clarity because of wording, they accept it because of presence. A shaky explanation is ignored. A calm statement is absorbed. Think of the difference between these two energies. I just want to explain why I said no. It's not that I don't care, it's just that... Versus, no, that doesn't work for me. One invites resistance. The other ends the conversation. Grounded women choose the second, not because they are cold, but because they are clear. Clarity is kindness without softness. You have been taught to cushion truth, to soften edges, to over-contextualize, to pre-apologize. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to. I hope this makes sense. These phrases do not create understanding. They create doubt. They tell the listener that even you are unsure of your position. And uncertainty invites pressure. Stillness removes pressure by refusing to feed it. A grounded woman understands this principle. The fewer words you use, the harder it is to push against you. Short sentences create walls. Long explanations create doors. This chapter requires honesty. Ask yourself, do you explain to be helpful, or do you explain to be accepted? Do you clarify to inform, or do you clarify to calm anxiety? Grounded women do not manage anxiety, theirs or anyone else's. They regulate themselves and allow others to regulate themselves too. This is where stillness becomes visible power. When someone challenges you and you do not rush to defend, you change the dynamic. When someone misunderstands you and you do not panic, you maintain authority. Not everyone needs to understand you. That truth is liberating. Understanding is optional. Respect is not. Over-explaining trades respect for relief. Grounded women choose respect. Here is a behavioral reset you must practice. Say what you mean once, then stop. Do not add a second explanation unless asked. If someone asks calmly, you may clarify calmly. If someone pressures, you remain still. Silence after a statement is not awkward. Silence is the statement settling. Let it settle. When you speak, drop qualifiers. Remove just. Remove maybe. Remove kind of. Speak cleanly. I will think about it. I am not available. I disagree. No emotional padding. No justifications. You are not being harsh. You are being precise. Precision creates trust. People trust what feels solid. Stillness makes words solid. This chapter is not asking you to become rigid. It is asking you to stop leaking energy. Over-explaining leaks energy. Stillness preserves it. And preserved energy becomes authority. Here is the deeper truth. When you stop over-explaining, you give others the opportunity to meet you at your level. Some will rise. Some will resist. Some will leave. That is information. And grounded women value information more than approval. You are not responsible for managing reactions. You are responsible for staying aligned. Alignment does not shout. Alignment does not argue. Alignment stands. In the next chapter, we will address the most common way power is lost: emotional reaction. Because the moment you react, you reveal where you can be controlled. And grounded women do not give their power away that easily.
Chapter 4. Reaction leaks power. Every reaction tells a story. Not the story you want to tell, the story your nervous system reveals. Reaction is information. It tells people what touches you, what threatens you, what unsettles you. And whatever unsettles you can be used to control you. This is not cynicism. This is observation. Reactive people are predictable. Predictability is exploitable. Grounded women are harder to read because they do not react on cue. They choose. Reaction is fast. Choice is slow. Reaction is emotional discharge. Choice is deliberate direction. The moment you react emotionally, you hand over leverage. Think about arguments. The person who raises their voice first has already lost ground. The person who explains emotionally has already revealed insecurity. The person who stays calm forces the other to confront themselves. This is why calm feels threatening. Stillness does not fight chaos. Stillness exposes it. When someone provokes you and you do not respond immediately, their energy collapses inward. They expected impact. They expected friction. They got nothing, and nothing unsettles unstable people. Reaction feels satisfying in the moment. It releases tension, but it also releases power. Grounded women understand this trade-off. They do not confuse expression with strength. They do not confuse venting with resolution. They regulate first, then they respond, if needed, and often response is unnecessary. Most conflicts die in silence if you do not feed them. Reaction feeds conflict. Stillness starves it. Here's the principle you must memorize. What moves you controls you. If words move you, words control you. If tone moves you, tone controls you. If disrespect moves you, disrespect controls you. Grounded women are not unfeeling, they are unmoved. There is a difference. They feel internally but remain stable externally. That separation is power. Most people collapse the two. They feel, then they act. Grounded women insert space. They feel, pause, choose. That pause is everything. That pause is where authority lives. Here is a hard truth. People will test you. They will push boundaries. They will provoke reactions. They will escalate emotion. Not because they are evil, but because they are unsure of where you stand. Stillness answers that question. Stillness says, I am not destabilized, and destabilization is the goal of provocation. Once you understand this, you stop taking things personally. You see behavior as information. If someone needs a reaction from you, they need power over you. Do not give it. Reaction is a habit. Stillness is a discipline, and discipline is trained. Here is the behavioral instruction for this chapter. When you feel the urge to react, to correct, to defend, to argue, pause for 5 seconds. 5 seconds feels long when emotion is hot. That's the point. Those 5 seconds separate instinct from intention. During the pause, do nothing. Breathe. Lower your gaze or soften it. Relax your shoulders. Let the emotional wave pass. Then ask one question internally. Does responding increase my authority? If the answer is no, remain silent. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is filtration. Not everything deserves a response. Not every comment deserves energy. Not every challenge deserves engagement. Grounded women choose their battles by choosing whether to react at all. You will notice something powerful. When you stop reacting, others adjust. They slow down, they soften, or they escalate. Either way, they reveal themselves. Stillness accelerates truth. This chapter is not about suppression. It is about sovereignty. You are not swallowing emotion. You are mastering it. Emotion is fuel. Uncontrolled fuel causes fires. Controlled fuel powers engines. Stillness is emotional control made visible, and visible control creates calm authority. You do not need to teach people how to treat you. Your reactions already have. Change the reaction, change the dynamic. In the next chapter, we will dismantle another myth, that calm authority is a personality trait. It is not. It is trained, and once trained, it becomes permanent.
Chapter 5. Calm is a trained state, not a personality. Calm is not who you are. Calm is what you practice. This matters because many women disqualify themselves before they begin. They say, I'm just emotional. I'm not naturally calm. I've always been reactive. That is not truth. That is history, and history can be rewritten. Calm is not temperament. Calm is regulation. Regulation is learned. Regulation is trained. Regulation is repeated. No one is born grounded. They become grounded through exposure and control. Every woman you admire for her calm authority was once overwhelmed. She simply trained herself not to collapse under pressure. Stillness is not the absence of emotion. Stillness is emotion under command, and command requires repetition. You do not rise to calm, you rehearse it. Most people wait to feel calm before they act calm. That is backwards. You act calm until your body learns safety. The body learns through repetition, not explanation. This is why reading about calm does nothing without practice. Your nervous system does not respond to ideas, it responds to experience. Grounded women build calm by staying present in discomfort. They do not escape it, they do not dramatize it, they remain. Remaining is training. Every time you stay still under pressure, your nervous system updates its map. It learns, I survived, I was not destroyed, I am safe. Over time, calm becomes default, but only if you practice. Here is the truth no one says clearly. Chaos feels familiar to an untrained nervous system. Calm feels suspicious. This is why stillness initially feels wrong. Your body has learned speed, urgency, reaction. When you slow down, your system protests. It wants to discharge energy. That discomfort is not danger. It is withdrawal from chaos. Grounded women do not obey that discomfort. They breathe through it. They let the urge pass. And in doing so, they retrain themselves. Calm authority is earned, not gifted. And it is earned in moments no one sees. Private moments, internal moments, moments where you choose restraint. Here is the training protocol you must follow. Start with your breath. When stressed, slow your exhale. Longer exhales signal safety. Do not force calm, invite it. Then train posture. A collapsed body creates a collapsed mind. Sit upright, stand evenly, ground your feet. Your body informs your mind. Then train response time. Delay reactions intentionally, not forever, just longer than instinct demands. That delay is the workout. 5 seconds becomes 10, 10 becomes 30. Eventually, stillness becomes natural. Not because emotion disappeared, but because control arrived. Grounded women do not avoid pressure, they use it as training. Every difficult conversation is an opportunity. Every provocation is a practice rep. Every uncomfortable silence is growth. This is why calm women grow faster. They convert friction into strength. They do not need ideal conditions. They create stability internally, and internal stability produces external authority. Here is another hard truth. If you only practice calm when it is easy, you are not training. You are rehearsing comfort. Training happens under stress, when your heart rate rises, when your chest tightens, when your thoughts race. That is the moment to slow. That is the moment to stay. That is the moment stillness becomes power. Do not confuse calm with softness. Calm is firm. Calm does not flinch. Calm holds position. People sense this. They feel when someone is regulated. They trust it. They defer to it. This is why calm women are often chosen as leaders without asking. Their nervous system communicates capability, and capability is magnetic. This chapter demands commitment, not to perfection, to practice. You will fail sometimes. You will react. You will rush. You will explain. Do not collapse into shame. Shame destabilizes. Instead, return to regulation, return to breath, return to stillness. Progress is not linear. Authority is cumulative. Each time you choose calm, you stack credibility, internally and externally. By the time others notice your stillness, it has already become part of you. In the next chapter, you will learn why still women see more than reactive ones. Because once calm is trained, perception sharpens, and perception is the quiet edge of power. Chapter 6. Still Women see what others miss. Speed blinds. Emotion blurs. Noise distracts. Stillness clarifies. This is the quiet advantage of grounded women. They see what others overlook because they are not busy reacting. Reactive people live inside their heads. They argue internally. They defend imaginary threats. They rush to conclusions. Grounded women observe. They watch patterns. They notice tone shifts. They feel inconsistencies. Because their attention is not hijacked by emotion, it becomes precise. Stillness sharpens perception. Repeat this until it lands. Speed blinds. Stillness reveals. When you are emotionally activated, your vision narrows. You hear what confirms fear. You miss what contradicts it. When you are still, your awareness widens. You see motives behind words. You notice pauses. You register what is not said. This is not intuition. This is regulation. A calm nervous system gathers more data. Grounded women are rarely surprised because they are always observing. They do not interrupt energy. They let it unfold. People reveal themselves when unpressured. Give someone space and they will show you who they are. Fill space with reaction and you block the signal. This is why still women are difficult to manipulate. Manipulation requires urgency, pressure, emotional hooks. Stillness removes urgency. Without urgency, manipulation collapses. Think of conversations you later realized you missed red flags. You were talking, explaining, justifying. You were inside the exchange, not watching it. Grounded women stay slightly outside, present but not absorbed. This distance is power. It allows discernment. Discernment is the ability to choose correctly, and choice determines outcomes. Stillness gives you time. Time to notice micro-expressions. Time to hear contradictions. Time to feel misalignment. You cannot access this state while reacting. Reaction narrows consciousness. Stillness expands it. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Many people do not want clarity. They want relief. They rush to respond to relieve internal tension. Grounded women tolerate tension. They sit with it. And because they can sit with it, they see through it. This applies everywhere. In relationships, in business, in family dynamics. The woman who waits sees who rushes. The woman who listens hears what leaks. The woman who stays still watches others expose themselves. This is not manipulation, this is awareness. Awareness is neutral, it simply observes. Stillness is the gateway to awareness. Here is the behavioral instruction for this chapter. When in conversation, reduce your internal commentary. Do not prepare responses while others speak. Listen fully. Watch their body language. Notice where words and tone do not match. Notice emotional spikes. Notice avoidance. Then say nothing. Let the moment breathe. People often continue speaking when met with silence. And what comes after the pause is usually the truth. Grounded women use silence as a mirror. Not aggressively, not strategically, naturally. They are not rushing to conclude, they are gathering. This is why still women make better decisions.
They decide with more information. They choose with clarity. They do not move from anxiety, they move from understanding. Stillness also reveals yourself to you. When you slow down, you notice your own impulses, the urge to interrupt, the urge to correct, the urge to be liked. Those urges are signals, signals of old conditioning. Stillness exposes them, and exposure is the first step to mastery. You cannot change what you cannot see. Stillness lets you see. This is why many avoid it. Stillness removes distraction. It confronts you with reality. Grounded women do not fear reality. They trust their capacity to meet it. Seeing more does not mean judging more. It means choosing better. Better boundaries, better timing, better alignment. This chapter marks a shift. You are no longer just regulating yourself. You are perceiving accurately. And accurate perception is quiet dominance. In the next chapter, we will dismantle the belief that you must match energy to maintain control. Because grounded women never chase energy. They let energy come to them.
Chapter 7. You do not need to match energy to win. Matching energy is a trap. Raised voices, sharp tones, emotional intensity. The world tells you that to hold ground, you must meet force with force. That belief is false. Force exhausts. Stillness outlasts. Grounded women do not mirror chaos. They neutralize it. When someone raises their energy, they are not becoming powerful. They are losing regulation. And the moment you match them, you join them. You step down into their state. Grounded women do not step down. They hold their level. Energy always seeks balance. If one person remains calm, the other must either rise or collapse. This is physics. This is psychology. Matching energy multiplies disorder. Stillness absorbs it. This is why calm presence feels dominant. It does not compete, it contains. Most people escalate because they feel unheard. They get louder to feel real. Grounded women do not reward escalation. They slow. They lower their voice. They reduce words. They remain steady. This forces the other person to confront themselves. Escalation requires participation. Remove participation, and escalation loses oxygen. You are not required to react just because someone else is emotional. Emotion is not authority. Volume is not truth. Intensity is not control. Stillness is control. Here is a critical truth. If you must raise your energy to be respected, you were never respected. Respect comes from stability. Grounded women command respect without altering their internal state. They do not chase dominance, they embody it. Think of conflict. The person who remains composed becomes the reference point. Others unconsciously adjust to them. This is why leaders are trained to regulate first. Emotional leaders create instability. Regulated leaders create trust. You do not need to prove strength. Strength is visible in restraint. Here is the behavioral instruction for this chapter. When someone escalates, speaks faster, louder, sharper, do the opposite. Lower your volume. Slow your pace. Reduce words. This feels counterintuitive. That is because it disrupts old conditioning. But disruption creates new dynamics. When you remain calm, you introduce contrast. Contrast creates authority. Do not explain yourself more. Do not defend harder. Do not chase agreement. Hold your tone. Hold your posture. Hold your breath slow. Let the other person feel the imbalance. Most will self-correct. Some will escalate further. That tells you everything. Those who escalate further are revealing insecurity, not strength. Stillness exposes that. You are not responsible for managing someone else's emotional state. Matching energy is emotional caretaking. Grounded women do not emotionally caretake adults. They allow others to feel their feelings without absorbing them. This is not coldness. This is boundaries. Boundaries are calm. They do not shout. They do not argue. They stand. Matching energy dissolves boundaries. Stillness reinforces them. Here is an important distinction. Stillness is not silence. You can speak calmly and still be firm. You can say no softly and still mean it. Tone does not determine authority. Alignment does. Grounded women speak from alignment. They do not need force. They need coherence. When body, breath, and words align, authority is automatic. This chapter may challenge your habits. You may feel the urge to meet people emotionally. That urge comes from conditioning. You were taught that matching emotion equals connection. True connection comes from presence, not mimicry. Stillness creates space. Space allows others to regulate or leave. Either outcome is clarity, and clarity is power. In the next chapter, we will explore why waiting is not weakness but leverage, because grounded women understand timing, and timing decides outcomes.
Chapter 8. The woman who waits always chooses better. Waiting has been misbranded. It has been confused with hesitation, with fear, with indecision. That confusion has cost many women their leverage. Waiting is not uncertainty. Waiting is control over timing. Reactive women move to relieve discomfort. Grounded women wait to gain clarity, and clarity always produces better outcomes. The fastest decision is rarely the strongest one. Speed satisfies emotion. Waiting satisfies strategy. Grounded women do not rush life decisions. They do not rush answers. They do not rush commitments. They do not rush reactions. They understand a simple truth. The one who waits chooses. The one who rushes accepts. Waiting creates options. When you pause, others reveal urgency. Urgency exposes need. Need weakens position. Stillness neutralizes need. This is why grounded women are rarely cornered. They do not answer pressure with compliance. They answer it with silence. And silence forces the other side to show their hand. Think of negotiations. The first person to speak after an offer usually gives something away. Grounded women let silence stretch, not aggressively, not manipulatively, naturally. They are not afraid of space. Space is where truth surfaces. Waiting allows emotions to settle. When emotions settle, logic returns. Most regret comes from moving too quickly, saying yes too fast, explaining too much, reacting too soon. Grounded women reduce regret by extending time. Time is the invisible advantage. Here is the uncomfortable truth. People rush you when rushing benefits them. Pressure is rarely neutral. Waiting protects you from other people's urgency. If someone demands an immediate answer, that is a signal, not of importance, of control. Grounded women do not surrender control of timing. They reclaim it. I'll get back to you. I need time to consider. I'm not ready to decide. These are not weak statements. They are boundaries. Boundaries over time, and time boundaries are powerful. Here is the behavioral instruction for this chapter. Default to delay. Not avoidance, delay. When asked for a decision, pause, breathe, say you will consider, then actually consider. Check alignment, check bodily response, check long-term impact. Do not let urgency override intuition. Waiting allows intuition to speak. Intuition whispers, urgency shouts. Stillness amplifies whispers. Grounded women trust what emerges when noise fades. Waiting also filters people. Those who respect your pace respect you. Those who punish your pause reveal entitlement. This is information, and information guides decisions. Stillness does not fear loss, it trusts alignment. Grounded women know, what is meant for me will not require me to rush. What requires pressure often requires sacrifice. Waiting protects standards. Standards are non-negotiable. This chapter is about reclaiming patience as power, not passive patience, strategic patience. The patience that watches, the patience that listens, the patience that chooses correctly. When you stop rushing, you stop betraying yourself. You stop abandoning internal signals for external approval. Waiting reconnects you to yourself, and self-connection is authority. In the next chapter, we will explore how stillness creates gravity, why people lean toward grounded women without being called, because when you stop chasing, others feel the pull.
Chapter 9. Stillness creates gravity. Gravity is not force. It is pull. You do not see gravity working, yet everything responds to it. This is how grounded women move through the world. They do not chase attention. They do not demand respect. They do not announce value. They pull. Stillness creates gravity. When you stop reaching outward, energy turns inward, and inward energy becomes dense. Density creates presence. Presence creates gravity. People lean toward grounded women without knowing why. They ask for opinions. They seek approval. They slow down around them, not because they were called, but because they were felt. Reactive women push energy outward. They explain, they pursue, they persuade. Pushing repels. Grounded women pull by holding position. They remain anchored. They do not overinvest. They do not overoffer. They do not overgive. They allow others to move toward them. This is not manipulation. This is balance. Energy always flows toward stability. The most stable point becomes the center. Stillness makes you that center. Here is the truth. When you stop chasing connection, connection becomes curious. When you stop chasing validation, validation seeks you. When you stop chasing outcomes, outcomes align. Gravity works silently. Loud energy does not attract, it distracts. Grounded women understand this. They do not advertise strength, they embody it. They do not request importance, they radiate it. Stillness concentrates power. Scattered energy has no pull. This is why desperation repels. Desperation leaks. It leaks need, it leaks insecurity, it leaks urgency. Stillness seals leaks. When nothing leaks, everything gathers. Grounded women conserve energy. They do not spend it unnecessarily. They do not give emotional labor freely. They do not perform constantly. They let others earn access. Gravity creates standards automatically. People approach more carefully. They speak more respectfully. They value the interaction more. Not because rules were spoken, but because presence demanded it. Here is a critical reframe. If you are always initiating, you are orbiting. If others initiate toward you, you are the center. Grounded women build a life where others orbit them emotionally, not through control, through stillness. Stillness signals self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency is magnetic. People are drawn to those who do not need them. Neediness pulls people away. Independence pulls them closer. This is not emotional distance, it is emotional solidity. Here is the behavioral instruction for this chapter. Stop over-giving. Stop over-texting. Stop over-checking. Stop over-investing early. Allow space. Let silence work. Let absence speak. Grounded women are not always available, not because they are withholding, but because they are full. Full people attract. Empty people chase. Stillness fills you. This chapter requires restraint. You must resist the urge to lean forward emotionally. Sit back. Observe who steps in. Notice who adjusts. Notice who disappears. This is clarity. Gravity sorts relationships naturally. Those who respect your stillness are aligned. Those who demand access are not. Stillness is a filter, and filters protect energy. Protected energy becomes authority. This is why grounded women often become leaders unintentionally. People trust what feels solid. They follow what feels centered. They defer to what does not wobble. Stillness removes wobble. You do not need to convince anyone of your worth. Worth that must be argued is not yet embodied. Embodiment is silent. Embodiment is calm. Embodiment pulls. In the final chapter, we will bring all of this together, because the ultimate expression of stillness is becoming the eye of the storm, calm, centered, while everything moves around you.
Chapter 10. Become the eye of the storm. The storm is not the problem. The storm will always exist. Noise, pressure, emotion, conflict, uncertainty. These are constants. The mistake is believing you must become the storm to survive it. Grounded women choose a different role. They become the center. The eye of the storm is not calm by accident. It is calm because everything else is moving around it. Stillness does not eliminate chaos. Stillness outlives it. This is the final evolution of presence. You are no longer reacting. You are no longer matching energy. You are no longer managing perception. You are anchored. Anchoring is not avoidance. Anchoring is mastery. The eye of the storm does not chase order. Order forms around it. This is what calm authority looks like in real life. When tension rises, you slow. When voices escalate, you soften your tone. When emotions flood the room, you remain steady. Not frozen, not detached, present. Presence is stability under pressure. Most people panic when chaos appears. They scramble for control. They rush to fix. They rush to speak. Grounded women do not scramble. They assess. They observe movement. They feel the emotional weather. They wait for the right moment, because timing is everything. Stillness sharpens timing. You do not move early. You do not move late. You move when it matters. This is why grounded women are trusted in crisis. They do not amplify fear. They do not dramatize uncertainty. They stabilize. Stability is leadership. Leadership is calm. The eye of the storm does not collapse inward. It expands outward, quietly. Others begin to regulate in your presence. They lower their voice. They slow their speech. They check themselves. Not because you demanded it, but because coherence is contagious. Your nervous system teaches other nervous systems what is possible. This is power without force, stillness without silence, authority without aggression. You have learned through this audiobook that stillness is not a single behavior. It is a system. Regulation, restraint, perception, timing, gravity, all working together. When these elements align, you no longer need to control outcomes. Outcomes organize themselves around you. This is the deepest truth. The world does not need louder women. It needs steadier ones. Women who do not flinch under pressure. Women who do not collapse under emotion. Women who do not explain their worth. Women who hold. Holding is strength. Holding space. Holding silence. Holding tension.
Most people release tension through reaction. Grounded women hold it until it dissolves. That is mastery. Becoming the eye of the storm requires commitment, not to perfection, to consistency. You will still feel emotion. You will still feel pressure, but you will no longer be owned by it. You will feel it and remain still. That is freedom. That is presence. That is authority. Here is the final behavioral integration. When chaos appears, pause. Anchor your breath. Anchor your body. Anchor your gaze. Say less. Move slower. Let others reveal themselves. Choose timing over urgency. Let gravity work. Do not step into the storm. Let the storm move around you. You are not here to compete with noise. You are here to outlast it. Stillness is not absence. It is presence perfected. And when you embody it fully, you no longer need to ask for respect, space, or attention. They arrive naturally. Because the eye of the storm does not chase anything. Everything moves around it. Stillness is not absence. It never was. Stillness is presence under control. It is the moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop explaining, the moment you stop chasing energy that does not deserve you. You have learned that calm is trained, that reaction leaks power, that waiting creates leverage, that presence is felt before it is heard. And now you know this: the most powerful woman in any room is not the loudest, not the fastest, not the most emotional. She is the most grounded. She holds her body. She holds her breath. She holds her responses. And because she holds herself, nothing else can move her. From this moment forward, here is your challenge. For the next 7 days, pause before you speak. Slow your reactions. Say less. Watch more. Let stillness do the work for you. Do not announce your strength. Do not prove your worth. Stand, breathe, remain, and watch how respect arrives without being requested. Because stillness is not absence. Stillness is presence that commands the room.